Welcome to Episode 2 of Dungeoneers. Last time, our adventurers, Axel, Ella, and Kruk, entered the ancient dungeon of the fabled wizard Balthor. They quickly encountered a locked door, and before Ella could put her lock-picking skills to use, Kruk rushed forward and smashed the door with two closed fists. The lock itself simply ripped out of the wooden door and clanged to the stone floor. The heavy wooden door creaked open slowly, but the darkness inside was so consuming that no light was cast into the room. Axel stuck his torch into the room, and the flames barely illuminated the space inside. It was still so dark they couldn't see any other walls or anything inside. Axel turned back to Ella and Kruk. "Stay close," was all he said. Ella and Kruk did just that, staying so tight that they were brushing up against each other. Axel held out his torch and his other hand in front of him so he wouldn't bump into anything, and they couldn't help but notice that the torchlight didn't illuminate anything. The flames didn't cast light out into the room. It only glowed there in the darkness. This was some magical darkness that pressed back against the light, and the room remained pitch black. "If we can just keep walking straight, we've got to hit another wall," said Axel. And as if on cue, the door behind them slammed shut, leaving them stranded in the darkness. Axel stopped instantly. "Should we go back?" he asked his partners. "Back to where?" said Ella. "Did we come all this way to bail on the dungeon after the first room? Just keep walking." And so they walked slowly, scooting forward with their arms out the way one walks in the dark. They walked and walked and walked for nearly half an hour, until Axel finally broke the silence. "Okay, this has got to be some magical room or something. We should have reached the other side by now." And before Ella or Kruk could offer their thoughts, the party began seeing faint yellow lights glowing on and then fading off. All around them, these lights turned on and off from the ground all the way up near the ceiling. And unlike the firelight of their torch, these lights truly illuminated the room, casting yellow glow onto the space around them. "Fireflies," said Kruk. He held out his hand, and a small insect landed in his palm. It was not much bigger than a butterfly, with thin, translucent wings. And as the trio looked down upon this creature, it opened its mouth and sunk its tiny razor-sharp teeth into Kruk's hand. "Ah!" And he clapped his hands together, smashing the nasty bug. The glowing of the flying creatures in the room intensified, and the room was lit up by hundreds of these buzzing insects that were now swarming right for Axel, Kruk, and Ella. They swatted the air as the creatures landed on them and sunk their teeth into their skin. "Ah! No, we gotta get out of here!" Axel cried out. The three were now spinning, swatting the air, and Axel was attacking the creatures with his torch, but there were too many. The vicious insects illuminated the room enough that they could see the walls now and just how big this room really was. Axel spotted the way out. "There! Come on, follow me!" They broke into a full sprint as the glowing creatures tore into their clothes and continued biting. Ella reached the door first and put her shoulder into it at full speed, and it swung open. Axel and Kruk tumbled out after her, and she kicked the door closed. It slammed loudly, and the three crushed the remaining bugs that flew out after them. "Well, that was awful," said Ella. "Let's remember to never go into that door ever again." As they sat on the floor of the dungeon hallway, Axel pulled out his map and made some notes. After spending some time tending their wounds, they plotted the next steps. "All right, it looks like we've got a door at the end of the hallway and another door on the way there," Axel said. The three walked down the empty hallway and checked out the two doors. The first door was broken and barely hanging off its hinges. They tried to get a good look inside, but it was too dark. The second door was a locked wooden door with a large, sloppy X painted on it. And now, you get to decide what our Dungeoneers do next. Leave a comment and let me know if they should go into the broken door, or into the door with the X painted on it. Whichever choice gets the most comments will be how the story proceeds, and we will return soon for the next episode.